Y'all, we're about to do something that I never thought we would do on this channel this early into my YouTube career. We're planning a vacation together. So y'all better get your spreadsheets in order. You better start packing because we're going to Germany. Hello, my name is glitchwitch.jpg. I make videos about internet horror, which usually means analog and digital horror primarily, but also creepypastas, ARGs, internet urban legends, and then a little smattering of video games sometimes, but usually it just means Silent Hill. And today, I am very excited because we're venturing into, I wouldn't call it a full ARG, I would call it internet marketing world building by another really cool project by our friends over at Neon Pictures. They are killing it. If you're not familiar, Neon is a production company, distribution company that puts out films. Most recently, they had a huge success with the film Long Legs, which is now the highest grossing independent horror film ever made. It surpassed the A24 film Talk to Me last year. Snaps for Long Legs. I love that. I love the movie Long Legs. I've seen it 3 times. I've made 2 videos on it. And one of those videos, which is not on my YouTube because it was deemed not appropriate for YouTube, you can watch it for free on my Patreon below, was about Neon's viral marketing campaign for Long Legs. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I think that film has done so well, because they put so much effort into the marketing. So the Long Legs marketing campaign, the thing that I covered that I was so interested in is there was an ARG component. There was a website called thebirthdayMurders.net that chronicled all of the murders that happened in the film, and it was really cool. Like, it made my experience watching the film much richer because it didn't spoil anything about the film. But the movie didn't really go into details about these specific cases. Like, it was more just about Long Legs, the serial killer, rather than about the specific victims and stuff. So going in knowing all these details really was a super enriching experience. And I'm not saying every movie should do that, but I think it fits for certain movies. So you can imagine that I was excited when my lovely friend Kira Coffer, who is the one giving me all these scoops. She is a wonderful friend of mine. She works for Superyaki, a wonderful clothing and apparel company, as their social media manager, so she has her finger on the pulse when it comes to cinema. So she told my friends and I that Neon has a website for their upcoming horror release, Cuckoo. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it maybe a few more times. Cuckoo, I don't know how to say it. Cuckoo, I don't know. I'm going to say it 8 different ways. I'm talking about the movie, okay? You know what I'm trying to say. So, what is Cuckoo? It is an upcoming horror film, again, distributed by Neon, so they're having a lovely year this year. They put out Immaculate, which is a great Sydney Sweeney nun movie that I loved, because 2 things about me: I love nuns and I love Sydney Sweeney, so it was destined for me to like that film. And then obviously Long Legs has been a smash success, so next we have Cuckoo, and it is releasing August 9th, and it stars Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens. Hunter Schafer is most famous for playing Jules in HBO's Euphoria, a show that I love. I don't care what you think of me if you now know that I love Euphoria. I love that show. She is incredible in that show. One of the most complex, fascinating characters I feel like I've seen on television in a long time. I sometimes just want to grab Jules and shake her and be like, stop doing all the things you're doing. I love Hunter Schafer. She's also one of the fashion it girls to me. Every time I see her on a red carpet, I am just, oh, gorgeous. I love her. So I'm excited for her to become a scream queen. I feel like it was destined to happen. Dan Stevens, what can I say about Dan Stevens other than I love him? I was first introduced to Dan Stevens with the Adam Wingard film, The Guest, also starring Miss Long Legs herself, Micah Monroe, and I I instantly fell in love with Dan Stevens. And it's so funny because I started with The Guest. Everybody else in the world started with Downton Abbey, including my mother. So when I showed her The Guest, she was like, why is he doing all this? And he's big buff man in The Guest. So I always found him to be a handsome man, obviously, in The Guest, but then I realized that he naturally is not big buff man, and he is more slender man. Not that slender man. I know we're on the internet horror page, but not that slender man. The thin man. And I find him very handsome. That's what I'm trying to say. So he is so great. Like I said, Downton Abbey, The Guest. He's the Beast in that Emma Watson Beauty and the Beast film. He was in Abigail. He was in recently something that I saw, and the only thing I liked about it was that he was in it. Oh, the Godzilla vs. Kong movie, or Godzilla X Kong. Whoever came up with that title, I know you frequent AO3.com, you little freak. This film is directed by Tillman Singer, a director I'm not familiar with, and it is about a teenage girl named Gretchen, who is played by, of course, Miss Hunter Schafer. And she joins her family at this resort in Germany and starts working there, and something is afoot. There's something weird in the woods. And I don't want to say much more because, frankly, I don't know anything else. That's just what I know from the trailer. Literally, the IMDb plot description is a 17-year-old girl is forced to move with her family to a resort. What exactly is the marketing going on here, right? That's why we're here. I would not call this an ARG. I think this is just supplemental world building. Frankly, I don't even know if I would consider this internet horror. Y'all can crucify me in the comments if I shouldn't be covering this, but I want to be some form of archive for these things because I don't know how much longer they'll stay up once the film comes out, right? And it's just neat, and I get to combine my love for internet scavenging and horror films. So yeah, this main thing, it's a website for the resort that Hunter Schafer's character works at and stays at in the film, and there are also some supplemental pages on real websites that you and I have probably used. There is a LinkedIn page for Herr Koenig, who is Dan Stevens' character. There is a Yelp as well that is very funny, and I will go through and read and everything. So it's super cool. I think you all will enjoy it. It's not as intricate and windy and codey and an ARG the way that the Long Legs one was, but I think it's a fun little bit of world building. So I will say this one's not really scary. You're not gonna be scared. This is a chill. We're just hanging out. We're just vibing. So without further ado, let's look at this website, y'all. We are looking at the latest Neon internet tie-in for the film Cuckoo, which is coming out soon. Very excited. Love that Neon is so committed to these really fun marketing things. Last time I covered the Longlegs tie-in, which you can view on my Patreon because YouTube did not like that one. And this one should be fine. I don't think anything is going to be that, graphic, whereas the Longlegs one was. And that website was set up more like someone investigating the case. It was set in the 90s. This is more like, advertising the resort that this film Cuckoo takes place in, that the character that Dan Stevens plays works at, and Hunter Schafer ends up working at. So, this just popped up yesterday. I don't have a lot of info about it. I don't even know if it's weird or if it's just literally world building. So, if this ends up just being world building, I don't know. That's not super cool for internet horror, but it's fine. So yeah, I like that the mouse is a little bird. It is called Cuckoo. I don't know why yet. So, love that this is an unsecure website. You all know how I feel about internet safety, so I'm scared a little bit, but I trust you, Neon. So yes, this is I bet it's not secure because they had to get the .de domain, the Deutschland German, because it takes place in Germany. So it's Resort Alpschatten. Alpschatten. I tried to learn German once, but I am not very good at it, so please bear with me. So let's just read what's going on. The ultimate getaway, an idyllic retreat in the German Alps. Explore our luxurious rooms and suites and discover what the German Alps have to offer. I'll click that in a second. About the resort. Welcome to Resort Alpschatten, a world-class retreat nestled in the Bavarian Alps, far from any modern distractions, designed to bring you back to homeostasis. Girl, what the f*** does homeostasis mean? The tendency towards a relatively stable equilibrium between independent elements, especially as maintained by physiological processes. So I guess it's just getting you back to center. Discover ultimate mountainside accommodations with our private bungalows and deluxe rooms, indulge in delectable cuisine and relaxing wellness services at our first-rate spas, and immerse yourself in the picturesque forestry and sprawling wildlife. Let your worries wash away with the beauty of the natural world. Relive your days and memories here for years to come. Okay, so that makes me think, like, once you're here, you're stuck here. And in the trailer, I know Dan Stevens' character is like, you were always supposed to be here. And Hunter Schafer's like, why would you say it like that? So we have pictures here of the rooms. I don't know when this is set. I assume it's set modern because we have, like, Yelp and the LinkedIn here. And TripAdvisor. I'll get to those later. I mean, it seems like a nice little place. I kind of live. So I would hang out. Okay, so I'm going to see what happens when I go to Book Now. Okay, so the Book Now is special screenings. That's really fun. So yeah, there's some early screenings. None in Georgia, of course, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to go back now. Okay, so let's go to visit. Okay, there's audio now. And screaming. Okay, I think it's looping, so I'm going to mute it. So this is Visit. And I think all these stills are from the movie. About the resort. Welcome to Resort Alpschatten, a world-class retreat nestled in the Bavarian Alps, far from any modern distractions, designed to bring you back to homeostasis. Okay, so this is what I read already. History. Originally established in the 1960s as a Bavarian medical center, Resort Alpschatten was renovated and refurbished in the early 2010s under the helm of Herr Koenig, who is Dan Stevens, our in-house preservationist, passionate about hospitality with a background in conservation biology and ornithology. Okay, so that's where the birds are coming in. The combination of a world-class resort, premium medical offerings, and functional nature preservation makes Alpschatten a one-of-a-kind destination in the Alps, with offerings for any needs that might arise for you and your guests. With a vision to innovate and connect to nature, Alpschatten boasts modern amenities with vintage aesthetics, complete with the state-of-the-art medical spas and wellness treatments. We dedicate ourselves to the promise of rest, recovery, and relaxation for our guests every day. Relive your days and memories here for years to come. Okay, so there's some shady science going on, right? That's what I'm going to assume. About the area. Resort Alpschatten is tucked within a private plot in the German Alps, designed for you to unplug from your daily life and enjoy the wonders the natural world has to offer. Our shuttle system can take your little ones to ESL and French language school programs, allowing you to spend your days roaming the sites and facilities without distraction at any time of the year. For those seeking extended stays, arrangements can be made to access our nearby rail station, where European pleasures are a quick ride in any direction. Our premium amenities include healing spas and state-of-the-art chronic disease facilities run by Herr Koenig and Dr. Bonomo, a world-class expert in the field. Interesting. Yeah, so I didn't realize that there was all the, like, medicine stuff. I assume based on the trailer, there's some sort of creature. So I thought that's all they were studying. But clearly they're, it's giving me like rich people using not rich people to cure their ailments. Kind of like the M. Night Shyamalan movie Old, or even kind of getting into the experiments that happened to the people in the film Martyrs. Interesting. So yeah, here it is on the map, I guess. Okay. Accommodation. Man, this TV is making me feel things, y'all. I love it. And I love these coffee. Oh, this makes me want like the most burnt, crappy cup of coffee ever. Oh, I'll live. Okay, accommodations and features. Relive your honeymoon over as many times as you please. So yeah, there's an emphasis on reliving over and over again. So I wonder if it's some sort of fountain of youth, or you're trapped here, or like a what's the Groundhog Day type thing. And again, I don't know anything about this movie. This movie's not out for 2 more weeks for me at the time I'm recording this on July 30th. But anyway, so I'm just guessing, as I did with my long legs video. And I was right about some things in long legs, and I was certainly wrong about some things in long legs. So we're just speculating here. Our medical spas feature state-of-the-art cosmetic technology so you can rejuvenate, rest, and restore your bodies. Experience one-of-a-kind experimental treatments from in-house preservationist and botanical expert Herr Koenig. In addition to the ecological expertise he offers, Herr Koenig hosts weekly Wednesday nature walks where you and your guests can tour the nearby forestry. Experience amazement and let Koenig exhibit his wind-floating skills and bring the hills to life, and open his guests' eyes to the beautiful wildlife of the Bavarian Alps. Oh, I can't wait to see Dan Stevens play the wind flute. Oh, I can't wait. So yeah, maybe he's like a forest spirit. I don't know. I'm reaching at straws. Again, the TV. The TV is making me so happy. Also, nothing says romantic like this absolutely terrifying looking hairdryer with the rose petals. She's gonna blow them off the bed. Nestled in the heart of the Bavarian Alps, the Lover's Nest offers an intimate and luxurious retreat for couples seeking romance and tranquility. This elegantly designed suite features a double bed and color TV. So, I don't know how many people, again, this was restored post 2010. I don't know how many people would love this. I am living for this. I would absolutely stay in this room. I love the look of it. Tours and activities. Herr Koenig hosts weekly Wednesday nature walks where you and guests can tour the nearby forest. Okay, we just read this part. But there's Herr Koenig doing his thing. Okay. Shop. I bet Neon already has merch. Yep. Damn, y'all, the movie ain't even come out yet. Listen, I respect the hustle. We'll see. Maybe I will come back and buy one of these. I bought the Long Legs merch because Long Legs is my favorite movie of the year. Okay, and contact. Okay. I will maybe send an email later and see if anything comes from that. So I'm currently viewing it. I wonder what happens if I switch it to German. If there's anything different. I don't think there is. No. Okay, I am going to switch it back to English, and I'm going to start clicking some of these. Let's go back to contact, and let's apply now. I think it's going to take me to LinkedIn. Oh my god. So you can actually apply. So front desk receptionist at Resort Alpschotten, on-site full-time, skills, English customers. Okay, it's no longer accepting applications, but there were 57. About the job, Resort Alpschotten is seeking a highly motivated and service-oriented individual to join our front office team. What we expect: working directly in the resort lobby. The job duties of the front receptionist include, but are not limited to,
Greet hotel guests in a friendly and professional manner, explaining the accommodations and establishing methods of payment. Check guests in and out of the hotel, issue room keys, and provide information regarding hotel amenities, facilities, and room location. Answer phones in a prompt and cordial manner. Consistently practice the highest standards of professionalism and hospitality when interacting with management, patrons, and guests. Process all transactions accurately in accordance with established hotel procedures. Respond appropriately to a wide variety of guest inquiries and complaints by assessing their needs to achieve customer satisfaction, ensuring all issues are resolved within 24 hours. Ensure guest safety and security protocols are maintained within the front lobby. Assist in-house preservationists with tasks as needed. Preferred qualifications and skills. High organizational skills, prior experience working in a luxury and or fast-paced environment, must be fluent in English. Additional languages, specifically German and French, are preferred. Flexible schedule to work bank holidays, weekends, and overnights is required. Overtime beyond 10 p.m. will not be approved. Knowledge of the local area to provide guests with recommendations and directions. Note that this position is urgently needed and the ideal candidate should be able to work immediately. Okay, so the whole overtime thing, they show that in the trailer that, like, they don't want you there past a certain time because there's clearly something, you know, giving chase. I have one skill that matches. I speak English. I promise I. And yeah, my it's pending. So he's done this the past 13 years. He went to Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich. Is this contact info? Okay. I love that. I think that's so fun. Okay. So let's check. Yeah. It's just such a smart way to advertise. It's not a hard thing to do to make a page, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's the same thing. It's the 1 star. Okay. We have 1 star from Ashley M. from Monterey, California, July 30th, 2024. So I assume this is real. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is, like, actually part of the... Okay, so there's a few, and they're all... Okay, I'm gonna read all these. So, my husband and I chose to take our annual summer vacation here, and it is, without exaggeration, one of the worst regrets of my life. This place advertises itself with modern amenities, but nothing in this place looks older than the late 1990s, which I said earlier. The fact this page address isn't even in the right country speaks testaments to how understaffed, incompetent, and rude the staff at this establishment is. The Lover's Nest is, without exaggeration, a dump. It's hard to have a romantic evening to yourselves when your accommodation clearly hasn't been cleaned properly. There's a strange goop on the floor, and I might be watching too many true crime documentaries, but could have sworn there was blood residue on the hairdryer. Just appalling to travel thousands of miles expecting secluded luxury and instead getting in an antiquated establishment with the same experiences and amenities you can find at a rest stop Motel 8. Oh, and by this time, you get the additional feature of utterly terrifying wildlife sounds keeping you up at night. Staying in that bungalow made me feel uncomfortable in ways I still can't put into words. The staff was incredibly unaccommodating. The front desk receptionist, Gretchen, and B were exceptionally incompetent and rude. I caught Gretchen sharing a cigarette with another guest. It would have been mildly amusing and not exceptionally infuriating if I didn't catch her while she was supposed to be on her post, and I desperately needed sanitary products in that moment. Despite all of my misgivings, I do have to say that Herr Koenig was warm, accommodating, and reachable, although every aspect of this place plummeted beneath my already low expectations and may have scared me from ever returning to Germany again. He treated us well, and I would not be remiss not to mention his kindness. Beware this place, though, not worth your hard-earned money. Guan Yu T, another 1 star. We heard pleasant things from coworkers who have been here before, which was why we decided to make the trip. But there seems to be a lot of false advertising going on. It's definitely not the luxurious and first-class resort that it purports to be. It was dingy and very much in need of renovations. The staff was very incompetent, and it was difficult to find someone to help us out when we had questions or needed assistance. My wife wanted to go to the medical spas for the wellness treatments they claim to have, but they were always fully booked for some reason, even though we barely saw anyone there. It was not a comfortable stay in the slightest, and we ended up leaving for a much better hotel. The nature surrounding the resort was gorgeous, but if you're planning to come to this area, do yourself a favor and take your time and money elsewhere. This place is not worth your money. So I wonder if the medical spa thing is a front for like research on whatever's happening in the woods. Um, Cody S says, I thought that this was a great deal for the price and location. The first couple nights were great. The manager was super nice. Occasionally at night I would get knocks at my door, which I assumed was room service, but I didn't feel like getting out of the bed. What really ruined my experience is that there was some lady screaming all throughout the night. I complained, but it continued. I don't think I'll be back. There's 6 other reviews. Okay, so these are higher reviews. So Ashley N says, cannot say enough great things about Herr Koenig and his staff. In search for a place where we could escape from the hustle and bustle of city life, but also have access to the necessary care for our daughter, Resort Alpschotten was the perfect choice. This resort has it all, from the best-in-class treatments to the wide expanse of the Bavarian Alps. Highly recommend if you are looking for a holistic approach to specialized care and treatment, but also to take a breather from everyday life. My husband and I give Resort Alpschotten 2 thumbs up. Okay. Okay, so I wonder... Huh. Sarah Joy says, unfortunately, I've been very unwell during my stay here, probably some kind of stomach flu, but the resort itself is lovely. Koenig was very accommodating, very secluded, and mostly peaceful, apart from someone playing a flute at random hours, which we know is Koenig. This, I'm assuming, is maybe like a fan and not put in by um the actual, by Neon, because their picture is a picture of Micah Monroe in long legs, but maybe I'm wrong. But Haroon says, Mr. Herr Koenig was very hot. There for 5 stars. I would definitely love to come back again just to be in his presence. And you know what, Haroon? Me and you both, my friend. Maria S., 5 stars. As a hardworking businesswoman, I truly value any time I get to escape from the city life to breathe in some fresh mountain air. Despite my husband and I experiencing many escapades to the world's greatest natural sights, none have been so revitalizing as right at home here in Germany at the stunning resort Alpschotten. Our lodgings were luxurious, with a beautiful view of the Bavarian Alps, and Herr Koenig was a gracious host. With our lives so often dominated by our demanding jobs, we had time to truly connect during our stay here. I feel as though I've fallen in love all over again. I did sometimes have difficulty sleeping as loud noises from the forest wildlife pierced through our bedroom walls. I could not discern what animal made such a noise, but I guess that's just life in the wilderness. Despite this minor hiccup, the resort Alpschotten deserves an outstanding 5 stars as I return to Berlin feeling like a brand new woman. Then Christopher says, my wife and I stayed at Resort Alpschotten for a trip to Bavaria, celebrating a quarter of a century married to one another. And let me tell you, it was amazing. The property was swanky, with a lobby that even had a convenience store inside. I was blown away by the scenic mountainscapes that surrounded the resort, and waking up to the sounds of birds chirping was incredible. We stayed in the Lover's Nest, which was super luxurious and set away from the other rooms. It was the best place to get away with my lady after renewing our vows in the mountains. I have to say, the receptionist was a little bit of an oddball, but other than that, we had a marvelous time. This trip made the last 25 years all worth it. I even told my eldest daughter she needs to book her honeymoon here. And then Anna C. says, had an incredible experience. My husband and I came for our honeymoon and stayed in the Lover's Nest and could not believe the romance and beauty of this resort. We would enjoy our nesting hours until noon, then embark on a day of walking and biking. I have to say that my favorite part was waking up each morning to an array of birds chirping. I cannot wait to come back for a 5-year wedding anniversary to relive these moments and create new memories. Danke, Resort Alpschotten. So, yeah, interesting. This one I'm most interested in because they have to take care of their daughter. So I don't know. I'm torn on what the situation is with if it's actually like medical, they actually have medical facilities or not. I'm not sure. So let's check out the TripAdvisor. Okay, so it looks like TripAdvisor link is not working. Let me try again though. Yeah, the TripAdvisor link is not working, but that's okay. Okay, so the legal and the privacy policy you can't even click on. But it's Neon has put this together, so yeah, I think that's all we have. I will call the number when I am recording the intro and outro to this, but I don't think there's anything crazy hidden the way that there was with Long Legs, but that makes sense. I think this is just world building, but super cool. Love to see it, and I can't wait to see Cuckoo. Okay, throwing it back to standing in front of the pulpit glitch witch. Peace.
Resort Elk I'm Gretchen. Is it just you, or are you here with a partner? We have special rates and amenities for couples and newlyweds. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. There's a confused guest, and I need to go check on her, but...
So that was, as of, what is the date today? July the 30th? All that I have found for this Cuckoo marketing campaign. We have the website, the LinkedIn, the Yelp, and of course, the phone call. You just heard. I would say the phone call was the scariest thing. Similar to Longleg's website and a phone number, which I think is really cool. And I like that it's set up that like you could pretend to have a conversation with Gretchen on the phone. Obviously, it's pre-recorded and stuff, but I think that's neat. I don't really have any crazy theories or anything as of right now. I think clearly, just to lay it on the table, there's clearly some sort of weird lady in the woods. We know that from the trailer. We see, we hear the screaming on the website, and then also the phone call. Gretchen refers to like a troubled guest that needs her help, and that's the woman screaming. So I don't think she's a normal woman. I think that there's something afoot, right? Something weird is going on, of course. And the thing that I am most curious about is if the like medical treatment centers, the spas, and all that are actually functional, or if it is a front for like research on whatever is happening in the woods and the wildlife in the woods. I'm curious if it is something where they're using substances from these mysterious things in the woods to treat like wealthy patients, or if it's just Herr Koenig conducting, experiments on these things in the woods, not conducting experiments, but studying them and using these guests to lure them, lure the creature, the lady, so that he can examine her more close up. So, again, I don't want to theorize too much because I don't want to get into spoily territory, but I think it's really cool, and really, the most important thing of all that I have to say is I love that Neon is doing this. I don't think every movie in the world needs this, but little things like this have made me way more hyped to see this movie, and I go in knowing a little bit more about Herr Koenig and a little bit more about how they're advertising this, resort to people. Same with Longlegs. I absolutely could have seen Longlegs without reading that website, but it made my experience all the richer. And I think that's the key to these things, is they can't be reliant, like you can't make the content in these marketing offshoots necessary in order to see the movie. That's just shooting yourself in the foot, and that's silly. But for people who get really into it, like me, and I assume you if you're watching this, it's a really nice touch, and it generates a lot of excitement, and they're cheap ways to market your film. Like, it's just propping up a website and then making social media accounts. Like, that is not a crazy expensive thing to do, and, you know, it works, clearly, with Longlegs. So, I just think it's really smart, and I think Neon is just going to keep on the up and up with all this. Like, I think they're going to kind of surpass A24, which is a, you know, distribution company that I love a lot of the movies they've put out, but, you know, their job is to market these movies, and I think they do a really piss poor job a lot of the time. They do the, like, weird gimmicky things where they release, like, really expensive merch, but, like, that requires you to buy into it. Whereas these things, you just experience them. They're just little digital experiences. It's not a lot of effort for quite a lot of payoff, in my opinion. So I'm super excited about this. And, you know, again, I think it's smart. I think it's a way to build the world of these films without spoiling anything and without making it like a whole annoying mess. Like, for example, all these Marvel movies, it's kind of a pain in the ass because you have to have seen like 3 Disney Plus shows and 12 movies to understand one film, and that feels like homework. Not that that's marketing. That's not marketing. That's just the way it's set up. But that's what I think of when I think of like film homework before you go to the movies, which I don't think you should have to have homework beyond like, oh, you're seeing a sequel to a film, so I hope you saw the last film. You know what I mean? I just really enjoy this, and I hope they keep doing it. I absolutely would love to keep covering these. Again, this, you know, is a horror movie for sure, but it wasn't even a traditional ARG or horror experience. It really was just world building, and I think that's just as valid and enjoyable too. And I think it also, you know, creates less of a barrier to entry for people who are interested in this stuff, you know, because Longlegs was an investigation. It was a proper ARG, and that can kind of scare some people away. Low-key, myself included, but, you know, I went to Reddit and figured it out, thanks to the lovely sleuths of the internet. But this is just a fun thing to read through and poke around, and I think it's really cool. And I'm super excited to see Cuckoo. Again, it comes out August 9th. If I enjoy it, maybe I'll make a little follow-up video like I did for Longlegs. I'm not sure that I will, because Longlegs just... I really enjoyed that movie, and I thought that it spoke to the broader conversation that I often have on this channel about slow burn, dread-based horror. And I don't think Cuckoo is going to be a film like that, which is absolutely fine, but I think I will enjoy it. I'll at least make a post or something talking about, you know, my thoughts on it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little dig through the world of Cuckoo. That was our little class trip to Germany. I hope that you all enjoyed it. And now I'm going to talk about the valedictorians of the class, my YouTube members. I'm joking. They're not smarter and more beautiful and more talented for following me, but they probably are. I'd like to thank all my members. I appreciate you so much. We have the Creepypasta OCs here, and then in Survival Horror Emo, we have E-Rob, Odini, and So-Called Punk, and then we have Miss Kira Coffer in Animal Horror Scary Face. Thank you again, Kira, for keeping me in the loop about all this movie ARG wonderfulness. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're excited for this movie in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!